Hello, my friends. Welcome back to another English Through Story lesson. Today, you'll not only improve your English, but also learn something very powerful. Why most people never escape poverty. In this story, you'll meet a boy named Arif, who grew up poor, confused, and hopeless. But later, he discovered the real reason why people stay poor. And what he found might surprise you. As you listen, focus on new English words and phrases. Repeat them with me. And try to feel the emotion behind them. Because when English connects with real stories, it becomes easier and unforgettable. So, are you ready? Let's begin. Arif was born in a small town. His father worked long hours as a cleaner. His mother sold vegetables in the market. They worked hard, but life never changed. Sometimes, Arif's family had no money for food. But what hurt Arif more was seeing how people looked down on them. He would walk to school wearing torn shoes. His classmates laughed and called him the poor boy. That day, Arif learned his first hard lesson. Poverty is invisible until people remind you of it. At night, he asked his father, "Why are we poor if you work so hard?" His father sighed and said, "Son, this is our fate." That word, fate, stayed in Arif's heart. It means something that is supposed to happen and cannot be changed. But Arif didn't like that answer. He didn't want to believe that poverty was his destiny. He decided, "I will find out why people stay poor." Years passed. Arif finished school but couldn't afford college. He worked in a factory, 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. Every month, his salary disappeared, rent, food, and small debts. He thought, if I work harder, I'll get rich. But nothing changed. That's when he met Uncle Rahim, an old man who used to sell books near the factory gate. One evening, Arif stopped and asked, "Uncle, you've been selling books for years. Have you become rich?" Uncle Rahim smiled and said, "I may not be rich, but I'm not poor in my mind." He gave Arif a book titled Rich Mind, Poor Mind. And he said, "Read this, and you'll know why people stay poor." That night, Arif couldn't sleep. He opened the book. And the first line said, "Poverty is a habit. A habit means something we do again and again, sometimes without thinking." The book said, "Most people stay poor not because they are lazy, but because they repeat the same habits. Spending without planning, fearing risk, and waiting for luck instead of creating opportunity." Arif underlined one sentence. The poor wait for change. The rich create change. He realized something deep. His father always worked hard. But he never learned how money really works. He never saved. Never invested. Never believed he could grow. He just survived. Arif decided to change his mindset. Mindset means the way you think and believe about things. So he started reading every night. He learned about discipline, which means doing something even when you don't feel like it. He learned about investment, using your money or time now to get more later. And he learned about self-belief, trusting that he could improve his life step by step. Every day, while others were watching TV, Arif was learning. When his friends laughed and said, "Books won't make you rich," he smiled and said, "Maybe not today, but they will change my tomorrow." And they did. One morning, while working at the factory, Arif saw a notice on the wall. It said, "Free business training for workers, Saturday, 9 a.m. Most of his co-workers ignored it. They said, "Who has time for that? It's our only day off." But Arif remembered one phrase from the book. Opportunity hides inside things that most people ignore. Opportunity means a good chance to improve or achieve something. So, he went. That day changed everything. The trainer spoke about how small savings could grow, how skills are more powerful than luck, and how poor people often stay poor because they believe money is evil or impossible to get. The trainer said, "If you think rich people are bad, your mind will never let you become one." Arif felt like a light switched on inside him. He realized he had been afraid of success. He always thought he wasn't good enough. But now, he began to dream again. He started a tiny side business. Fixing old phones after work. He saved a little money every week. He watched videos, read articles, learned from failures. It wasn't easy. Some days, he earned nothing. Other days, people laughed and said, "Why are you wasting time? You'll never be rich." But Arif remembered another key phrase from the book. Failure is feedback. Feedback means information that helps you improve. So he didn't give up. 2 years later, he left the factory and opened his own small repair shop. He worked harder than ever, but now, for himself. He saved money, hired 2 helpers, and treated them with kindness and respect. Soon, his shop became the most trusted one in the area. The same people who once laughed at him now came to him for advice. Arif had learned that the biggest difference between the poor and the rich was not education, not background, not luck, but mentality. Years later, Arif became a mentor for young people in his town. He started free evening classes. Not to teach business, but to teach thinking. He said, "Don't work only for money. Work for growth." He told his students, "If you spend money to look rich, you'll stay poor. If you spend money to learn, you'll grow rich, slowly but surely." He explained that being poor is not a crime. But staying poor by choice is a trap. Crime means doing something wrong or illegal. Trap means something that stops you from escaping, asterisk. He taught them how to change their habits. To wake up early. To write goals. To save a little. To read daily. And to keep believing even when others doubt them. Arif's story spread far beyond his town. He was invited to speak at schools, on radio shows, and online. People called him the man who broke the cycle of poverty. But when someone asked, "What made you rich?" he simply smiled and said, "I just changed the way I think." So, what can we learn from Arif's story? Let's be honest, most people stay poor. Not because they don't work hard, but because they don't work smart. They spend everything they earn. They fear risk. They wait for the right time. They believe that success is for others, not for them. But life changes only when you decide to learn, ACT, and believe. Let's review 3 key lessons. 1. Poverty is a mindset. If you believe you're helpless, you'll stay helpless. But if you believe you can grow, you'll start finding ways. 2. Small habits change big lives. Reading 10 minutes daily, saving a little, or learning a new skill every month. These small actions build your future. 3. Success is not luck, it's discipline. The rich aren't always smarter, but they are more consistent. They keep learning and improving while others sleep or complain. So, don't say, "I can't." Say, "I haven't learned how, yet." Now, let's review some important English words and phrases from the story. Repeat after me, slowly. 1. Fate, something that is supposed to happen and cannot be changed. Backhand index pointing right example, he believed it was his fate to be poor, but he was wrong. 2. Habit, something you do again and again, often without thinking. Backhand index pointing right example, reading daily is a good habit. 3. Mindset, the way you think and believe about things. Backhand index pointing right example, a positive mindset can change your life. 4. Discipline, doing something even when you don't feel like it. Backhand index pointing right example, she studies every morning with discipline. 5. Investment, using your money or time now to get more later. Backhand index pointing right example, education is the best investment. 6. Opportunity, a good chance to improve or achieve something. Backhand index pointing right example, he never missed an opportunity to learn. 7. Trap, something that stops you from escaping or growing. Backhand index pointing right example, spending all your salary is a financial trap. Now, your turn. Say them aloud with me. Fate. Habit. Mindset. Discipline. Investment. Opportunity. Trap. Excellent. Party popper. Now, write 1 or 2 sentences using your favorite word from this list in the comments below. I'll read and reply to as many as I can. My friends, remember, you are not poor when you have no money. You are poor only when you stop learning and dreaming. Every time you listen to a story like this, you are training your English in your mind. You are becoming stronger, smarter, and more confident. So keep going. You're improving every single day. If you enjoyed today's story, don't forget to subscribe so you can learn more English through powerful life stories. Watch the next video here. And remember, don't wait for change. Create it.